Hello, everybody, and Merry Christmas! Yeah, it's actually Christmas.
Oh, it is?
Yes, yeah.
YouTube time is weird. I'll never get used to it.
Yeah, so I didn't get a gift for you. I mean, my gift is letting you talk, I guess, for 2 hours. If you don't know, every year we do a tier list with all of 3 of us doing the investigators, and Christmas is always Bryn's Day. I did that because, I mean, you looked most like Santa Claus when we first started doing this, so that's what you got. You don't punch people like Travis, and I'm just first, I guess. Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
It's your show. I'm just a personality on the
exactly right, but then it makes it nice because everyone likes the personalities more than the host. Not that it gets to me, and I don't spend all night crying in bed.
Yeah, but it's not the show without the host.
Exactly right. So thank you. So in this video, this is all Bryn's. I've already said my stuff, so I'm actually gonna just be bouncing off Bryn's conversation for this. So if Bryn says, for example, Norman Withers can only play events, I'm going to say it's true. Norman Withers can only play events. Those are the rules of Norman Withers, and that's why he's bad.
It's correct as far as I know.
Yeah. So, Bryn, I'll throw it to you, and we'll start with Roland Banks.
All right. Well, Roland Banks, I think he's not really that good. He's like a design relic from another time when they were like, hey, you might ever play the game solo and have to do all of the things. That being said, he's like pretty okay. We're going to put him in the C tier, I think. He's like not bad enough to be in the like D for don't play this tier, but like C for the could be better tier.
Yeah. Whoa. B for better tier.
Yeah, B is just the better tier.
And A is an even better tier. Sweet. All right. This is the one I use. Daisy Walker.
I think Daisy gets to be like bottom of the B tier. She's like kind of boring and doesn't really have a great card pool in that she only has 3 brains, so she can't make really that great use of the purple cards. She does have 5 book though, and as we now know, having a 5 in your do something number, really good.
It's very good.
Yeah,
it's very good.
A very strong place to start.
Yeah.
Most people who don't have a 5 have to spend a lot of their level 0 deck building figuring out how they get to 5.
Yes, yeah. It's kind of like the first step. It's like, how do I become a 5-book investigator?
How do I do that?
Yeah.
How do I get there? And the answer is usually like with a magnifying glass or a B cop or whatever. But we're not here to talk about them today.
Yeah, we're here to just talk about
we're here to talk about Skids O'Toole.
Yeah, Skids O'Toole.
He's not even a design relic from a different time. He's fucking...
He's from a different game, yeah.
Yeah, like... Much as I love Skids O'Toole, he's not good. I'm not gonna lie to you about this one today. We're gonna put him in the D tier. He's not like unplayably bad or like a design mistake or anything like that. He's just like, just not quite good enough to really justify playing over anyone else. His ability is very strong, and his star is also very strong, and he's got good deck building. He just... 3s are really hard. It's so much harder to make a 3 into a 5 than a 4 into a 5.
Yes.
It can be done, but most of the time when I'm playing this guy, it's because I want to make Travis upset because I said I'd kill enemies. And
and then you bring that one.
We're bringing Skids, and we got some sort of janky plan to overcome our 3 fight.
Yeah, with sled dogs.
Or a sledgehammer or something.
Yeah, the sledgehammer one was pretty sick.
I think it was like almost good. That one was
I think it was pretty alright. I think we were good comp for that one.
We were like nearly good enough.
Yeah. So like there's parallel investigators, which as we know in a Bryn video, they aren't real.
Yeah, they don't exist until like if Fantasy Flight prints them,
then they exist.
And sells them in a pack.
Yeah.
At that point, I will be forced to evaluate them as real.
Yeah. But Spirit Island has aspects where you can modify the text on your spirit. It would be really cool if that existed, because I would just love an aspect that like removes 1 brain from Skids and gives them 1 fist.
Yeah, I saw a like a custom for him that just gave him a permanent that was like I forget what they called it, but it was like he'd been hardened by prison.
Yes,
so he was like, I have my -1 brain and plus 1 punch.
fist. Yeah.
It was like, like let's.
It just like that. It would be cool to see like that actually be played.
Because I think at like 4 punch and 1 brain, he's like a pretty real investigator at that point. He's like at least on Roland's tier.
Yep, 100%.
As opposed to being like, he's just okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because anytime like someone brings Skids, you're just like, you're going to have to work a little bit harder. You're going to have to work just a tiny bit harder.
You're looking at it and you're like, okay, but like what sort of messed up thing are you going to try to do to fix your stupid character who doesn't work?
And the answer is probably...
who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? It could be anything.
Yeah.
Could be anything.
All right. Agnes Baker.
We're going to put her up in the B tier too, I think. She gets to be like top of our B tier, I think. Like 5 in your do something number is very good. She's got a very strong card pool. And her ability is not bad, but it does kind of shoehorn her into like, what do you do? And the answer is be a blue character, but not. With like worse cards. That's okay. It works. She's like entirely functional, unlike Skids. Somebody brings Agnes to the table and I'm not upset about it.
Yes.
Or like trying to figure out how I'm going to work around their existence.
Yeah. It's kind of what this is, right? Like how much, like, how happy you are if someone brings them to the table. Yeah.
Like, I mean, if somebody brings a Roland to the table and we're playing like two-handed, I'm like, okay, we can probably make this work. It's like we're both going to have to do a little bit of everything in order to get through to the end of the scenario.
As the original Arkham gods intended. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, like we're not just going to be able to hold hands the entire time and never not be in the same place. We're going to need to be in different places, doing different jobs in order to, like, undercut the doom threshold, because otherwise we're just going to run out of time and lose, probably. Yeah.
Sweet. Wendy Adams.
She would go in an O tier for Orphan if I could, but like she's like probably top of my A tier. I think like there's not a whole lot of investigators who it doesn't like their card pool actually doesn't matter. Because it doesn't matter what you play. If half your cards were just blank pieces of card stock with an Arkham back, your deck would still mostly work. And that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Sweet. Zoe Samaras.
I mean, if we're being real about it, she's probably about B tier, maybe bottom of the A tier.
But it's Christmas. We can be however we want about it. I do like those moments, though, when you get like a character you love and you're like, you have that, like, all right, do I come to terms with this, or do I say how much I love them? Yeah,
like I think we're going to put her in the bottom of our A tier for now. We might revisit that later. We might not. She's got a very flexible pool and stat line that you can kind of make do whatever you want. She's a very strong true solo investigator because you can fix the I need to find clues thing with purple cards. With your 4 brain. And then patch in the holes with the blue cards that already do that. She does solve one of Blue's inherent problems of never having enough money by just getting money for playing the game, which is pretty alright. Yeah, I mean, starts with a 4, so that's a little tough.
Yeah, but luckily easier to do with weapons.
Weapons sometimes
they also just innately give you the thing.
Give you like a +2 or a +3, and if you're using a melee weapon, you can slap a reliable on it.
Just start going with it.
Go to town.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Rex Murphy.
This guy's like probably our first S tier investigator. Like this guy just kind of breaks the game. He doesn't. There are no other cards that when I'm playing with someone new, I tell them were misprinted. This one I'm kind of like, so you're not going to play with it like that because none of us are going to have fun. Nobody's going to enjoy it. You might enjoy this for like
a scenario or two,
and then after that we're going to be like, wow, this is kind of broken. Like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You're right. You got me there. Yeah. And I mean, even if he was a combat guy and his ability was the same but for damage, it wouldn't be broken anymore. Because clues are like inherently better. But
it would still be very good. Yeah. It still honestly might even get you, depending on the stat line, still in the S tier.
Right. Like if you got a 5 punch or a card pool that doesn't suck.
Like,
to the moon, baby.
It is a very fun thing to do. Take like a clue equivalent and put it into damage, right? Because then you can just really see. Because like
they're not equal.
Yeah, because like the closest is parallel Zoe, and even like Nat Cho is kind of the same, right? Extra damage.
Yeah.
But like Rex also just does it just doing it.
Yeah.
So like
you don't have to change.
Yeah.
You take what you do and you change nothing.
Yeah. And you don't need to add any other
Yeah.
bells or whistles, it's why Rex is just wild. All right. Speaking of wild, we got Jenny Barnes.
Yeah, she's like the main character of the comic book,
She is, yeah.
which is a thing, I guess. I don't know why they always pick her. It's probably because she has the built-in story if I'm trying to figure out what happened to my sister.
It is, yeah. It is a
So
classic
it's
story.
like a real easy hook to...
It's like her and Joe Diamond is the one they
Yeah,
use a lot because
yeah.
PI is just,
That's
know.
what
like,
they've got in
oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. It's like a perfect match,
like
yeah.
it's-
Yeah. They also both got sick-ass hats, which probably helps sell.
And 2 guns.
And 2 guns! Holy crap, the
So-
code, Bryn. We figured it out. Holy shit.
Yeah, I think Jenny Barnes was better when she came out, and she wasn't good then. I've played a lot of Jenny because I was like, it's not Skids.
Yep.
I've got an ability that might do something. It doesn't, not really. It's like, you play the whole, like, dragon, I'm going to hoard all of the resources forever, and no, I'm not going to give them to anyone. Why would I do that game? A lot better than any, well, maybe not better than anybody else, but a lot better than most. However, that archetype does not exactly need to be made better because it is already very strong. So we're going to put her, like, down in the Skids tier. She's not that different. She's, like, a little better than him, but not by much. And even, like, honestly, if somebody brings... So, like, somebody brings a Skids deck, I'm like, all right, what are you cooking with? Somebody brings a Jenny deck, and I'm like, fucking really?
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
Okay, we're just down a body. That's fine.
It's crazy because I actually think, like... It's funny because I think, like, information, even though you get better at Arkham, you also get worse at Arkham. Because I did a rewatch of our blind Dunwich play, and you brought Jenny, and you were whipping out double or nothing on fire axes, like, no problem. And we look at that today, if someone did that, we'd be like, what the hell's going on? But just, like, the ignorance is bliss, and, like, it just makes you, like...
No, that deck was, like, not bad.
Yeah.
By any stretch.
Yeah, it was,
with the card pool available at the time.
Yes. I mean, we are thinking of potentially doing another like progression series,
like that
which,
Lord of the Rings series that we were
yeah,
doing.
just like a whole cycle instead of Mythos packs. And
too much, some might say.
Yeah, at a certain point, like we just got like way ahead of it. It's just like as soon as we got like
it was fun for the first like I don't know, 5 cycles or whatever, and then after that it was kind of just like cool, so I can do like anything I want.
Yes, yeah, and it's just like,
matter
and then it was still like I always played Eowyn, and then I got Glorfindel, the Spirit one, and I just couldn't get away from that either. It was fun though, like to make the challenges.
It was
like
good for a while.
Yeah. All right, Jim Culver. I won't scroll up. Don't worry, I know where.
Yeah. This guy gets to sit in the F tier, I think. F for functional, in brackets, non. Like, sure, he technically works, and I get that he does get a little better on higher difficulties because the skulls get a lot scarier. But I still don't think he's very good. Like, you're still trying to play the game like with garbage. You've got mono purple, and if you want to be mono purple, you can just play Jacqueline and be like, do this but good. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I want him to be cool. He was cool in Arkham Second.
He was, yeah.
But I don't want to build a spirit deck or whatever the hell.
The parallel was no.
That's not never.
That, no, yeah, not that. Yeah,
I don't care. That's
it's like the island deck.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah. It's one of those things that again, like I feel like aspects on investigators like this, like being able to just modify them. Like if Jim had a way to like spend charges to pull out skulls, it could be interesting. But I don't know.
Yeah, or like even. Like if you reveal a skull during a test, you can seal it on your investigator card and draw a different token.
Yep.
And then like reveal that skull later. Like on a spell test maybe.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Or even just like a bigger Dunwich splash. Because like you said, like mono purple, you're mostly mono purple, and most mystics are mono purple with a better ability anyway, right?
Yeah, every other mystic gets to do what he does, but with another thing.
Yes. And like you still, I remember we were like, oh, this is great because he can swing the baseball bat and not have it break. No, there's still skulls technically, which is, if they made it just treat it as a 0 or a 0 and a skull like you could choose, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ashcan Pete with Duke the dog.
So like this guy used to be really, really good when the game was young. 100 years ago. Or however long that was.
It's been a long time.
These days, I think I put him like C tier. Like he's not great anymore. Because all you get to do is play the game with a 4 once a turn, unless you want to throw away a card. Which, like, admittedly, the cards from your discard pile mattering and whatnot is getting to be more and more of a red thing, which is cool, I guess, for Pete. But it's also kind of like, if I wanted to do that, I could play Wendy.
Yep.
And I could still probably play the game with 4s, and instead of having to discard cards to play the game more, I could discard cards to play the game better. And just, like, not fail.
Yep. Yeah.
So I think that's where he gets to live in my evaluation anyway right now. Like, mono red is not good. You won't catch me saying that about different card games. Like, mono red is like pretty
good,
in most other card games. But like in this one, it's okay. It's alright. Like, it's alright. But it's really whatever the other color you have.
Yeah, it's like
that like makes your deck feel like it does something cool and unique.
Yeah, it's like kind of like the spice. So, Survivor's the spice on a lot of other classes.
Like, I mean, most of your good cards exist at level 2 or lower anyway.
Yes.
So
yeah. So O2 Survivor is pretty much O5 Survivor.
Very similar to O5.
Yeah. Mark Harrigan.
I mean, like, I think we're going to put this guy in the S tier because, like, what does he do? He plays the blue archetypes. Which ones? Doesn't matter. They're all mark types, it turns out. Because he's just really good at all of them. He's like, what is one of Blue's inherent problems? It's having economy to play the game. What do? I draw extra cards whenever the game happens.
Yeah.
Like, do you get to choose? Sometimes, if you want. 5/5 is like a little bit soft, but because you have your Sophie, when she flips, you are really not an investigator anymore. You're like Lola, but bad. Because you only have blue cards.
Yeah.
Though admittedly, you can play around that too. If you build your deck to work with only 4 punch, because you probably are going to do that because that's what blue cards do.
Yep. You can manage.
You'll be okay.
Yeah, and if you have like the healing, you can at least crawl out of the hole
you
too.
You can get back out. Some of the healing is like very efficient these days.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily have to be in your deck, but it can.
Yeah, it's kind of the awkward part, right? Because it's like most Mark you build to soak, right? But then like when you turn into Sophie, some decks you might be like, I can't get out of this, but you can, I think, pretty easily too.
Anytime that you're playing a blue investigator and you look at their card and it's like, wow, B-Cop is really good with this.
You're like, that's a really good sign, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this card was already very strong.
Yeah.
It did not need to be better, but it is.
The thing that really impressed me about Mark this last year was you bringing him as the clue getter, but actually like the way that he was able to function. Like Mark seems like a really good spot to flex now too. Like very good for that.
I mean, you can like Sophie lets you get good number when you need good number.
Yeah.
Without expending real resources. Like, sure, you do have to take a damage, but the damage probably doesn't matter. And well, if it does, then don't do it.
Yeah.
Just punch guys with 5.
I'm kind of wondering if it would be fun to do like a series where instead of bringing like, because we've done it with classes before, but if we brought like a archetype run, so like we all soaked. Because I'm just imagining like Mark Harrigan taking the damage, Tommy using his solemn vow to move the damage onto some of his things, Mark healing, Tommy getting a bunch of resources. I wonder if there's something we could do there.
I wonder how Mark interacts with the enchanted armor. You get to do the reaction before you make the test because you did put the damage. You did put damage on it.
Oh, probably. Yeah, probably.
Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Who knows? This is an interesting. That sounds like a Bryn's Madhouse for sure.
Yeah, no. I mean, it is part of the interesting part about this game is like we've been playing it for how long, and we're still kind of like
Coming up with ideas.
Does this work?
Yeah. Yeah.
This could work. Minh Thi Phan. She also used to be really good, but all her ability does these days is like sometimes 5. She's got a good card pool though, and does like make everyone else's game a little bit easier for just existing in the place that they're trying to do the things in, which is good. True to like her original character, so that's good. Though unlike her original character, she can actually play the game by herself,
Yep.
which is a thing.
Yeah.
We're gonna put her in the B tier, I think. She's not bad. She's like pretty okay, entirely functional.
Yeah. B tier for bad.
Not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sefina Rousseau.
I love playing Sefina. It doesn't feel like playing any other investigator in the game.
It's true.
She's not good. It's another one I'm not going to lie to you about.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah, today, yeah. But as soon as Travis gets here, yeah, like Travis is going to be here for Amanda, for Norman, it's going to be great.
Yeah, well, Amanda sucks, so there's nothing else that can be done.
Only all
about that.
twos. All
Yeah,
twos.
like what are you supposed to do? Yeah, we're going to put her like, I think top of our C tier. She's good, but she has like a very, very harsh weakness. You can't ever get rid of it. It admittedly doesn't do anything the first time you draw it, but nothing. It blanks your draw. But you just keep shuffling it back into your deck forever, which is a little tough. Her unique cards can be a shitty skill card to like one of the most broken things you've done today. Can go either way. Really depends on what deck you are building and what exactly you're trying to do. Only 2s in your do something number, a little tough. But fortunately we've got purple and green cards, which mean that our do something numbers are whatever we'd like them to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like the artists being, there's been a lot of criminals in like the artist thing, like there's the flavor to that. I like that. Yeah. Akachi Onyele.
I think I'd put her like right next to Agnes. She's like almost the same character. Not in terms of like lore, but in terms of what they do in the game. Because what does she do in the game? She has a 5 in her book and gets to play purple cards, as well as other cards that use charges, which is admittedly like a larger pool now than it used to be.
Yes, yeah.
So there is that. And you do get extra charges on all your stuff, so like all your purple cards go again, and it's just like a very similar thing. But you do play a better flex game than Agnes does, I think.
Yeah.
Not by a ton, but it is better. And your weakness is nowhere near so harsh, and
No.
your asset actually does something, so that's really cool.
Yes, yeah, the Heirloom of Ivory is just a big-ass necklace otherwise.
Yeah, it's usually just a skill card.
Yes, yeah. I really like Akachi's weakness. It's kind of fun to, like, solve it, and you're like, I feel smart.
Yeah.
And, like, it really rewards you for building around it, too.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just, like, pretty okay.
Yeah. Will Yorick.
So this guy's really bad if you're playing him with like only cards that came from Carcosa, it turns out. Kind of tough, as far as that goes. So if you're like, I don't know, hypothetically building with an intensely limited pile of cards, then like Yeah, maybe he's not great. Maybe he's not great. If part of the limitation is that you have to play with the cards that came out in his cycle.
Yeah, because you also don't get like Corset. Because you don't have the leather jacket.
Like with Corset, like as soon as we've got Corset, it doesn't matter anymore. This guy's like, items? Yeah, I've got items. Yeah. I can do whatever I need.
Yeah.
Even like Knife is kind of huge in like the level 0 deck anyway.
Yeah.
Like honestly, better than the 45. Because it commits for a punch and it's easy to put into your discard pile, and you get the same 4 shots for 4 money, but at +2 instead of +1.
Yep.
It doesn't really cost you extra actions. It's a little bit tough if you're fighting enemies that have 4 or more health, but
that's what your other hand's for.
Yeah, you just gotta figure that one out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this guy, I think, like bottom of the A tier. Like, recursion is in card games inherently broken. It is very difficult to balance that without making it either very, very bad or like a little bit too good. Or really too good, as the case often is. In this case, I think it's balanced fairly well in that you only, like the recursion, while it is theoretically infinite, is not infinite in practice, and you do have to do a little bit of work to get it.
Yes, yeah.
And you can't get just anything. You have, like, you're limited to a certain subset of cards to recur. So that really helps make things feel fair.
Yep. All right. Lola Hayes, don't mind me, just scrolling on down to the lower half over here.
Yeah, I mean, like, she's gonna get to live in the D tier. I think I'm gonna put her above Skids because at least she's interesting. Or at least more interesting. She definitely gets to live above Jenny because Jenny is, as I believe is probably true to character, empty and vapid. At least Lola can lie to me.
Yeah.
You know, it's what she does professionally.
Yeah.
And she does do it, like, not entirely. That is kind of like the gameplay. Of it is like, check out all these cool things I could do. Is it gonna work? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're playing and you're like, this doesn't fucking work. None of this works.
I mean, and she's such a temptress because even I'm thinking right now, it's like, I think you could probably make a pretty legit sled dog stack with Lolas.
Probably could.
Right? Because those are always active.
Yeah.
And you use like the best economy, the best card search, and then like who cares about the last 7 cards? Just be like just whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could play like yellow for the card selection, and you play like
green for money.
Green for money, yeah. Like blue's got some pretty okay options these days, but I don't think any of it's better than the level 0 or 1.
I would just do like blue for like trusted, like just like ally support, because then like you can still run Calling in Favors. You can play it whenever, right? You can run like the Lucid Dreaming whenever, the Rod of Analysm whenever.
It's true. You probably have to end up playing like a lot of multicolored cards where you're like,
yes, get a little bit of both.
This is a blue card, but it's also a yellow card today.
Yeah.
So it like
I think
a little bit of each jar here.
Like I know it's kind of been fun to meme on Travis to bring sled dogs, but you know what? I think that would make him explode.
I think like sled dogs is largely viable.
Yes, I agree.
Which is a good place for neutral things to live.
Yep.
Like, it works.
It works.
Technically.
And it's like there's so many things that are more efficient, but at the same time, you can actually make it through a campaign with it.
I think that's a very happy place for those kinds of effects to live.
Yep. Oh, I scroll down. All right, Leo Anderson, speaking of sled dogs.
Speaking of sled dogs, this guy's probably like the guy to do that with if you really want to and you're playing anything that's any kind of hard.
I consider like Leo Anderson, like if you're gonna play sled dogs as a spike, he would be the one to do it. Like if someone has a gun to your head, and you're like,
Leo's also gotten better.
Yeah.
As the as the game has expanded, because we get access to more non-unique allies that make Mitch Brown not suck.
Yeah.
Now Mitch Brown already does kind of suck because you have to find him before you can like build around him.
Yes.
Which makes his like I wish that he was just he just made like your non-unique allies like cheaper or something.
Yes.
So then it's like, is he in play? Good, great, my game is better. Is he is he not in play? Like, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like I can still work with this.
Yeah.
As opposed to if I am building around him where it's kind of like, well, I have to find him. Because if I don't, then my deck doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's a little bit of an unfortunate mark. Every time I've ever played this guy, I've been crippled by some sort of random aspect of the game.
Yes. Yeah.
Whether it's ants eating all of my bullets or my arms turning into trees.
Eating all your bullets in a different way. Yeah.
Consuming all my bullets differently. So I think that probably colors my opinion of him a little bit. I'm going to put him at the top of the C tier because like 1 foot is so much harsher than 1 brain. At least 1 brain you can plan around like what's this going to do? Damage. I'm going to eat horror.
Yeah.
And like mostly that.
Yeah.
Right. 1 foot.
It can be it's not just damage.
It could be anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there's no limit to the bad things that could happen to you if you fail a foot test.
It's true. Sorry.
Yeah, it does make this guy use savant really well. Because if you need to pass a foot test, you can throw it at that.
You get +4.
Yeah, you get +4, so
which is really nice. Yeah,
it's not bad.
All right, Ursula Downs.
Okay, before I put this character in any sort of a tier, I want you all to know that I have played more Ursula Downs than most people. I don't want to like get into some sort of shitty Ron Swanson, like I know more than you or anything like that, but like I have tried this a lot. She's not great. We're probably gonna put her in the D tier because like, well, there are more relics now than there were last time I tried to play her. There still aren't very many of them that aren't yellow already or like level 5. Which also means you can't play them. If you could play level 5 relics, I would be whistling a different tune here. Like absolutely. I think Armor of Ardennis on a yellow character would be nuts. Unless that character is Vincent Lee, in which case, what the hell are you doing? You need to take that damage in order to make your character go.
Yeah.
But on most other yellow characters, I think that card is crazy. You're kind of showing up to play the game, and the game's like, I'm gonna hurt you, and you're like, no, you aren't. No one is.
Yeah.
Like I actually can't be hurt.
Yeah.
But she can't play, so it's irrelevant. There's a couple of neat things you can do. I think she plays like an all-right ceiling game, and I will admit I've not played a deck with her where I played like the hiking boots. So there is that. Maybe that breaks her wide open or something, and I'm just like not seeing it. Of like, to me, it's kind of like, who are you? You are Monterey Jack, but fun.
Yeah. Doesn't bode well for Monterey Jack, is what I'm hearing there too. Yeah.
Yeah. So
no.
Anyway, I'm happy to hear your concerns, but you're not going to change my mind on this one.
It's the same thing that like
not this year.
I've talked about with Finn and Kate. If they're going to have a trait-based class deck building, it should be outside of their class. There should like make more cards that kind of like bend what they would do traditionally, so there's like a reason to try it out.
And like maybe I will admit I have not seen the whatever Cthulhu box is called.
Yeah.
Spoilers really.
No relics yet.
Yeah. So like maybe there's something in there that's crazy. I think if she had like relics and charms,
yes, yeah,
then we're all like,
there'd be something to cook with there.
Because like 4-book is a little bit tough to justify. You like Rex gets to do it because he cheats.
Yep.
He's not playing the same game that anybody else is anymore. He's just like, no, we just race to the end. Like we're done. It's okay. Ursula's like, mind if I bring my boyfriend? And you're like, is he cool? And he's like shows up and he's just like intensely racist or something. And you're like, why did you bring this guy into my house?
Yeah. Is that Jake?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't like Jake.
We don't really like Jake.
Yeah. All right, Finn Edwards.
I think this guy's really cool, even though he can't play all in.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna put this guy like probably in the Will Yorick part of the A tier. Very similar to that, I think. Like you're trying to play the game with numbers that aren't necessarily great, but a free action every turn is a free action every turn, and there are ways to turn that into other effects.
Yep.
Especially in like low level green. So he has access to those ones, and with the red and or yellow cards that you're allowed to play, you can kind of be good at whatever it is you need to be.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, whether it's just playing luckies and some magnifying glasses, or I don't know, an ice pick.
Yeah. And this was also the moment we realized that rogues can survive with one brain.
They can do it.
Yeah.
One brain is like, it's a very predictable outcome.
Yes. Yeah.
Like you can be pretty sure that failing a brain test, like of what the rather limited pool of things that failing a brain test is going to do to you.
Yeah.
They mostly suck,
Mm-hmm.
but at least you know what they are.
Yep. Yep. All right, Mr. Father Mateo.
I think he's a lot better than I've ever given him credit for, honestly. Like not like crazy better, but he was really bad when he came out, and he was like, my card pool is purple and I have 4 brain, and you're like, great, is that all you do? And he's like, no, I can play cards that are also purple.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like, wait a minute, you're just Jim Culver.
Yeah, right? Like, you're Jim Culver with a slightly different...
I mean, in his ability, you only can do it
upside.
once in the game, too.
Yeah, but it is also very, wow, we would have been fucked.
Yes, yes.
So let's not be. I'm going to put him in the B tier for blessed,
Oh, hell yeah.
I think. I think he gets better and better as we get more cards out of his, that are not part of his cycle.
Yep.
The further we get from his cycle, the better he gets. Because his card is very strong. His Elder Sign ability is nuts. Like, best in the game, fight me. There's nobody who's better. I don't think. Not even Will Yorick. Like, his is nuts, but like, this is, like, in theory, I could play forever.
I think the only one that I'd argue is pre-nerf Eucatastrophe Silas, because that was an infinite. But other than
that was a problem with the rules.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, he is definitely up there in like the highest tiers. I don't blink if someone says that.
Yeah, like there's not much that I could think of anyway.
All right, Calvin Wright.
Certainly not this guy.
Or should we call him Calvin Wrong?
I'm gonna put him at the bottom of my C tier, I think. Red cards are good for succeeding with bad number.
They are.
Calvin wants to get big, stupid number, and then play the game with big number, but also only with red cards, really. The Spirit Pool does admittedly keep getting better, and always has been pretty good for making sure you don't die. Or some limited other things. But he's just kind of not great. Admittedly nuts in exactly Carcosa.
Yes, yeah.
There's some parts of that campaign that he can do some not entirely fair things because there are no timing restrictions on when you can speak a word.
And then also when you can't go, when nothing bad can happen. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah,
Games test brain and you're like, great, I've got 27.
Your statement of like, once again, like he has like survivors about using your bad numbers to fail. I'm kind of just wondering if like there's going to be a certain point where Kelvin is just like, if like the tested 0 or like test low is good enough, that eventually your plan is to not get numbers big, but just like never die at a certain point because your numbers become big. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's okay.
Yeah.
He works.
Yeah.
Technically. He is just like, don't bring this guy if we're playing on expert,
Yes. Yeah.
Like, maybe we need to try a little harder.
Yeah. And don't be like us and we're going to do Forgotten Age twice and retire him twice.
Yeah. I mean, Forgotten Age is like particularly unforgiving.
Which is funny because he came out in that cycle.
Which,
like,
you'd think that he would be okay
Yeah.
to manage that, but no, he's not really.
No. I'm curious like how much he'd be if it was like, if he had like 7/7, but it was like max +5 for the pluses. Wonder if that'd be too good. I don't know, but My favorite.
You could play the tarot card and find out.
Yeah, I have this year actually. So
Yeah, it's not good.
no, it's not. When he turns into a werewolf, he's one badass motherfucker.
Oh,
though
yeah,
I'll tell you
yeah.
that much. I
Absolutely.
learned that for myself
Absolutely.
this year too. All right, Carolyn Fern.
I think she's just pretty good. Like we're gonna put her in the B tier, I think. She just like plays the game with like some pretty mediocre numbers, but also can invalidate one of the core aspects of the game, and it doesn't really matter which one of them it is that you get to break. If you get to break any of them, you're probably not that bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Her card pool is confusing.
Yes. Overwhelming at times.
Yeah, like you can play a lot of different cards, and you need to keep track of all of them.
Yeah. So there's a new, I like this because it complicates for everyone. There's a new mechanic in Drowned City called Specialist, where it's trait-based deck building, right?
Yeah. I think that stuff looks really cool.
I think it does too. I love it adding it to Carolyn. Like, I know she only has medic, so it's going to be less, and most of them are probably going to be healing.
Yeah.
But I just like the idea of her card pool getting even more complicated.
Even more convoluted.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. I also think the special stuff is going to be pretty cool.
I think that's
the full stuff.
I think that's a really cool way to add power to certain kits.
Yes,
without allowing just like Rex to abuse it better than
100%.
somebody else could.
Yeah.
And also, I would like the character traits to matter just like a little more. Like they did in the Dream Eaters, almost. I think the campaign does, because there's like the side quests that everyone gets to. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think she's pretty okay.
Yeah. Joe Diamond. The other half of the Hat Comic Club.
Yeah, he's the Two Guns Hat Comic Book Club.
We love that. Tony's going to show up one day.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
We'll pay him to go kill Izzy.
No. He's like, I did it. I killed her.
I think Joe Diamond is like bottom of C tier for me. Like, he's entirely functional, but very fragile.
Yeah.
And like really bad without a full collection, I think. 4 punch is like not quite good enough, and 4 book is also not quite good enough. So you need to do both of those things. Like, if Michael Lee was the 3-costed one and Janae
It was the 5, it would be a much different
then,
situation.
Like, we'd be in a whole different bucket here. We'd be
Yeah.
like, well, this guy's the best user of Michael Lee, and he would still probably be in the C tier because he'd have like one deck that was good. But whatever.
But it would feel better. It would feel a better C
We
tier.
would
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
better about it.
I get you. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like pretty okay. The Hunch deck is fun, even if it's frustrating at times. Just try to play insights that you can play no matter what.
No matter, it makes it a lot
not
easier.
ones that have triggering conditions. Don't
Yes.
do that. That's
Yeah,
really
that's-
tough. And not very fun at all. I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah.
I've tried it.
Preston Fairmont.
I love this guy. And I think he's like pretty okay.
Yeah.
He's got like a very strong card pool with admittedly one of the like probably the worst stat line in the game. But 5 money's a lot. You can buy a lot of things with 5 money, like Dynamite or Greta Wagner, who will beat up your enemies for you.
Yeah.
He can't buy that.
No, he can't
But,
buy
like,
other
other
people.
people
But like,
could.
yes, yeah.
Other people could.
Yeah. But he has like turkey dynamite.
Yeah, he's got like that janky red workaround. Like, I don't need my money for things, so I can spend it on this. He does need his money for things because he's got ones. I think we're gonna put him at like the top of the B tier. Like he's good, but he's definitely got mulligans where you look at your cards and you throw them all away and you look at your next set of cards and you're like, oh fuck,
Frick!
Yeah, I'm not doing anything today, guys.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that sounds like the.
Yeah, unlike the people in the D tier where you're like, really, we're down a body. That's just what we're going to do today.
Yeah.
At least Preston has the chance to draw out of it.
Yeah, and like Preston's impact when he does impact the game is usually very noticeable. Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out when you're spending like 5 or 10 money on a thing, it tends to be very splashy.
Yeah. Do you remember when he dug us out of the sand pits? That was
so dumb.
That was a good one. Diana Stanley.
I want to like her more than I think I do. She's cool. And we're going to put her in the C tier for cultist.
Checks out.
Because that's, her thing. Again, invalidates the game, like one aspect of the game. That's what she does.
Yeah.
Which aspect? That is entirely dependent on what kind of cards that say the word cancel on them you have put in your deck.
Yeah.
Like Preston, you don't really do anything at the beginning of the game. Probably. When it works, things are probably pretty good for you.
Yeah.
They might not be so good for your teammates because they might have been having to figure out how to struggle through things without you.
Yeah.
But, she did get a little bit better with the addition of, what's her name? Zinedine Zidane. Amina Zidane, that's her name. Where she had a bunch of cards that were like, use this number or brain.
Yeah.
So if you have them early, you use your real number and you test it 4, and if you draw them late, then you're like, hey, my brain is like 5
Yes.
or 6 or whatever the cap is on that.
Yeah.
I think it's 6. So I'll use that instead.
Yes. Yeah. I actually haven't built that. I've been meaning to. That'd be fun to do.
She's like not bad.
No. Yeah.
Not by any stretch.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where I don't want to spoil Travis's list video, but Diana's kind of trended down for all of us. And I think it's just because I think Mythos mitigation, it's like there's more tools to survive, so it's less impactful than it used to be, right?
You're not so reliant on one of your teammates to solve something for you.
Yes, yeah.
Most classes have cards that will allow them to solve whatever their problem is, probably.
Yeah. It's just like, it's not like power creep, it's just the result of a growing card pool.
Yeah. Like the breadth of effects that everyone has access to is now much greater than it was.
Yeah.
When the game came out.
All right, Marie Lambeau.
I hate her. She's going to go live with Jim.
Whoa.
For me. Because, I mean, like, look at them. They're probably in the same place.
They're probably, they're both probably they're performing together. Yeah.
She's singing.
Yeah. It would actually be like wrong to separate them because they're a traveling duo. They travel and tour together.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't like Marie Lambeau. Sure, you sometimes get an extra action for probably whatever you'd like it to be, but your card pool is only purple. You only get to play with purple cards and like 5 other cards that it's like you're Jim Culver. You're like the same person. You're like the same person, except that your ability is slightly better.
Yeah, you have 4 book and a worse weakness.
Yeah, 4 book is also like that's a wasted point. Like 2 wasted points, really, for a seeker who doesn't play yellow cards, really.
No.
Yeah, I just don't like her.
That's fair. Rita Young.
Rita Young, I think she's been getting better and better with like every consecutive release. Dirty Fighting, I think, is nuts.
Yeah.
And like is a trick and is less than level 3.
Yeah.
You get to play it. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because it makes you do a lot.
Yeah. And you're right too, because I'm pretty sure she can play the new Trick to the Plan too, right? Like I think she's Tricks 03.
Bewitching, maybe?
Yeah, Bewitching.
Yeah.
Which is nice because then she can find Dirty Fighting even easier.
As weird as it is to play Bewitching in like a high school student.
Yes.
Like, you know.
Just alarm.
Yeah, right? Like, it's a little like...
Sorry, I got facts from my lawyers. We got to stop talking about this. Yeah.
My name's Chris Hansen.
Yeah.
No, she just get... Like, they've been doing a lot with, like, the trick pool. And, you know, call me crazy, but that makes investigators who can play tricks better.
I'm not going to call you crazy because I think that's...
I think that's just math.
Yeah.
I'm going to put her, like, I think, bottom of my A tier, maybe.
Nice.
She's a lot of fun to play with, too.
Yeah.
You just kind of get to mess around with whatever you'd like to. And
Yeah, definitely.
you know.
And one thing it's nice, Rita shares the similarity with Kymani. And even kind of not as much Nacho, but like kind of Nacho, where like you have a weapon built into your kit.
Yeah,
right?
you have a way to deal free damage.
But like, so like you can get out of a rough mulligan better than someone, say, like Mark Harrigan.
Yeah. Probably pretty good in the feast unlock.
Probably.
There's like so many of those guys who are like, I take one
damage at a time.
and
Yeah.
you're like, okay.
Yeah,
But you also don't play this turn.
also seems really good. I'm not going to spoil anything, but in Longest Night, being able to move around really quick. Yeah, she does actually seem like she'll probably be very good for that campaign.
Very strong for that campaign.
Yeah. All right, Tommy Muldoon.
I think I like this guy more than he is good. We're gonna put him like top of our B tier, I think. He does do that same thing of like, I fix your economy
Yes.
without you really having to try for it.
Mm-hmm.
That Zoe does. However, I think Zoe just does it better.
Mm-hmm.
And like Tommy, does require slightly more work.
Yep.
To get the money back out. That being said, like he's got some fun decks that you can play. The Star is always fun to play with.
Always, yeah.
I've never been unhappy playing that card.
Mm-hmm.
Except when I have to pay 3 for it. That's a little annoying, but whatever.
Yeah, but you forget about it in a turn or two when you're
Yeah,
like,
when
you're like, B-Cup, like my B-Cup's not dead.
Yeah, you run it out, and then you're like, man, I'm running out of health, and then you play your guard dog, and you're like, just kidding.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a 5-3.
This is a 5-3. This has more health than some investigators start with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Mandy Thompson.
She's like fucking nuts. Yeah, we're just gonna put her in the S tier. Like, card selection is strong. She does that really good. Card draw is strong. She does that really good. Whatever you would like to be the other thing that you do, you just pick that and you do it.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any wasted points in her stat line. Like, we got 1 punch. We're not gonna use that for anything ever.
Yeah.
We got 3 foot. Cool. We might actually attempt an evade test. We got 3 brain. We might attempt to pass a brain test in order to not eat 3 brain damage or whatever.
Yeah.
And we got 5 book because why wouldn't we have 5 book?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
there.
like it's just kind of like
it's a crazy stat line.
Yeah, this is not right.
Yeah.
You do have to play 50 cards now if you play with the taboo list. If you don't, then do whatever you want, man. I'm not your dad. Or an Arkham cop or whatever.
Yeah.
She is kind of stupid though.
Yeah. Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, like not quite so stupid as she used to be because they've kind of started tackling some of the cards that were also like, hey, so Mr. Rook is just kind of a problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, what do we do to make that less of a problem?
Yeah.
So.
And you know what's crazy? Mandy has a great stat line, but so does this guy. And imagine if he had a 1 in brain.
Yeah, right.
He was a 1-4-5-2, or even the 1-3-5-3.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, this guy's got the same stat line, but he's got the scuffed point in brain. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
We're not going to pass it anyway, and if we are, we're going to pass it using green cards that don't care about how we're going to pass.
And it really shows the power. You can see what a 1 does in a stat, right? Normally people 1s are bad, but it's actually better in the long term for your character.
If it means that we get to allocate that power budget somewhere else.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, this guy also gets to live in the S tier, this time for stupid, but he just kind of... There's a lot of things in the game where they're like, this enemy's really tough, and you're like, somebody paid me to kill it. It's not that tough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get him because green cards are meant to fight with 3 punch.
Yes. I'm
not a mathematician.
Yeah.
But 5 is bigger than 3.
I think it might be. I think it might be actually. I think it might be. I'm very curious for Drowned City how Michael McGonn's going to compare. If they're going to be able to make it so that like maybe he is like, is he going to match with Tony, or is Tony? They're just like Tony's just going to keep getting better, right? I'm very curious.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that he's like Tony but bad.
Yeah.
Or just like not bad, but like
Tony, but not as good.
Broken.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not as inherently busted. I'm hoping he also doesn't need a second card to tell me how his abilities work.
Yeah, no,
Admittedly, the bounty contracts doesn't really tell you how the ability works. It kind of just says, like, put the counters here.
Yes, yeah, move here. Yeah, yeah.
They sit here when they're not in use.
Yeah.
So,
but, I mean,
fine.
yeah. I think Michael McGonn's going to be very fun with Joey the Rat, because I think he's going to be firearm synergy, which is going to be pretty cool.
That would track from the, like, tiny piece of the card that
there is, yeah, because there's just a bold firearm. Yeah. Luke Robinson.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this guy at like this expansion. Nuts for investigators.
Yes, yeah.
I'm gonna put this guy, I think, like bottom of the S tier. He was only getting the nudge out of the A tier because it's S for stoner tier.
Oh fuck yeah!
Because that's this guy.
Hell yeah, let's go.
He's just like, do you want to go on a trip to the Dreamlands? And you're like, okay. And then he brings out a bong, and you're like,
oh, I get it.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying no, but
if he would be like, do you want to get high with me? I would say yes.
Yeah.
And I don't get high that often, so, you know, it's a special occasion.
Yeah, he also invalidates one of the core aspects of the game, being that there are locations in play.
Yes.
And they are joined in an order.
Yes. Yeah, and there's a sequence in which you must follow to go through them.
Yeah, no, let's not do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Why would we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Travis, you're
It's either Travis or
a murderer.
Ross has learned to talk.
Yes, oh no.
Yeah. For always be zooming.
Remember, Travis, this is Bryn's tier list. We have to agree with everything he says.
Yeah, no,
I can't be wrong.
Yeah, not today.
I'm not saying anything's wrong. I was just curious why. I was just wanting a justification.
Because she's fun.
Okay.
Because she, like, does things.
She's fast.
And is fun.
Luke Robinson, as you said, though, good. He's
good.
He breaks an inherent piece of the game. I think I said this already.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
We didn't pause and restart. That's not known.
No.
Travis has always been here.
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, let's go on to Patrice then, because I think you got Luke.
We're gonna put Patrice down near the bottom, because I thought she was cool and then I never played her. So she can live like at the edge of the C tier, I think. Like, she's okay, I guess. Kinda. She's better. Like I'm much happier to see somebody sit down to play a Patrice deck than I am to see somebody sit down to play a Lola deck or a Jenny deck.
Yeah.
Like, admittedly, the Lola deck, I'm like, you figured it out, right?
Yeah.
Like,
You've done it. You've cracked the code.
You've got it. You've got it, right? And they're like, maybe.
Yeah. And the answer is unfortunately.
Sometimes no.
Yeah.
Usually not.
Often.
Patrice,
not always.
Patrice is quite solid. Like, if your mulligan goes bad, good news, it doesn't matter.
Because you're about to get a new one.
About to check out a new one. So.
Yeah.
I think she's pretty solid. She's got like a very soft stat line in that her health is 7s and she has like a 4, and then it's Amanda Sharp. But yeah, she's kind of neat.
Yeah. All right, starter deck investigators with Nat Cho.
I mean, like, he's really good. It's also like really boring. We'll put him at we'll put him above Rita because Travis is here now and he'll probably hit me if I don't.
Yeah, that's
just the mood. The mood of the video.
No, he's very good. He's got like a 5 in his do something number.
Yeah.
He does admittedly again have like a scuffed point either in his foot or his book, whichever one it is that you. But it doesn't really matter because you're blue and you weren't going to do that other thing anyway.
Yeah.
He is fun to play like once in a while.
Yeah, like every for you it's a year because I play so much Arkham, but like it's like one of those things you're just like, oh yeah, this guy's crazy. He just fucking punches people so hard.
Yeah.
And then at the end you're like, I am tired of punching people so hard.
It's for 8 scenarios.
Yeah, he's just like this guy, you know.
Yeah. Harvey Walters.
It's old white man number 4, Bryn.
Is it? I haven't been counting. Sorry, no, I could have done that better. Let's take that from the top. I don't see race.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or age.
Or age.
Yeah, wait. I don't see age. Yeah.
I think he's like pretty good. He's got a 5. He's got a 5 in his book.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like pretty okay. He's got 5 in his book. He's got 1 in his punch, and you were never gonna. You could have a 0 in your a -6 in your punch, and it wouldn't make much of a difference for most characters.
It is true.
Are not blue.
Yeah.
Or green sometimes. Or
Okay.
red sometimes.
It's mostly yellow who doesn't care.
Yeah, purple too
purple.
though. Purple could be like all my numbers are -6, but I have 6 brain.
Yeah, purple doesn't care if their punch is 0, but like
Yeah.
if it's like 4, they're like, oh man,
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna put him at the top of the B tier for bookish. Yeah.
5 is quite bookish.
It's like he's got a good number, he's got a good star, he doesn't have a great deck building pool, but it's better than some of the monocolored guys who exist. Like the next 2.
Yeah.
Well, not the next 2, but 2 of the next 3.
Yeah.
Like Winifred, who like mono green, not great. But she does have an awesome investigator ability where we kind of just show up and we're like, card selection. No. We just have cards in our deck. I'm going to find the ones I need.
Yes. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. What are the ones you need? Who knows? They've got to be something to make your foot do something, though, because otherwise you've got 5 and...
You enjoy that kind of card selection?
It works.
Can I interest you in playing a secret investigator?
You ever see Crocodile Dundee?
No.
Yeah, okay. Well, there's like a scene where he's trying to make the reporter eat like some garbage that he's found around the outback.
Oh, okay.
And she eats some of it, and she's like, "This is terrible. Do you eat this?" And he's like, "Well, you can live on it." Well, he's opening a can of. It's like,
No.
yeah, so it's kind of like, do you enjoy this? Like, well, you can live on it.
Yeah.
But when it's free like this, like just tied to your investigator card, that's pretty good.
So fun.
I think we put her in the B tier because she's okay.
B for biplane.
B for biplane.
Wow.
I did it.
Travis did it. All right, Jacqueline Fine.
She gets to live in the A tier because all of our other 5-book mystics are in the B tier, and she's like kind of better than them. Like, has not a very interesting card pool, but it doesn't matter when you just pass tests when they matter. And you got 5 in your number where you do something. So.
Yeah, she does get to play the boring card pool a lot better than the other purple.
Yeah, she's also
investigators,
got like the extra hit point like actually matters here.
Yes, it is nice.
Yeah.
Where a lot of these like the 5-book mystics, they're like, my 5 is like, that's how I'm gonna die.
Yeah, and it is nice to know as Jacqueline that you can also, like, if you're taking your setup turn or like sort of that, somewhat your ability is going to be used every round.
You can still fire it for somebody else's test.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the test that you pass doesn't have to be yours.
Yeah. Stella Clark.
So if you asked me this question like 2 years ago, she would be like way up at the top. I still think she's like kind of broken. But only kind of. And not broken in the like she's gonna get to live at the bottom of the A tier with Rita there. Because they're both presumably pretty fast. She's a postal worker, so
it's true.
Like,
4 foot is pretty fast.
yeah, it is pretty quick.
Like
8/8 is very strong. It's a lot of health. So it doesn't really matter what the game's going to
I do always forget that
very,
I do always
very
forget
tanky,
that she's an
right?
8/8. Yeah.
Like it's
Well, one part of the stat line has to be good.
it's a big number.
Yeah.
You admittedly do struggle to actually try to do things, but you get 3 copies of your signature that says that like
It just says no.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Don't matter.
Yeah.
Right?
No consequences.
Also, is the, right type for True Survivor or whatever that card is that I haven't played in, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So...
You nailed it.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's everybody's favorite time of Christmas. It's the slideshow change.
Oh, yeah, that's a good time.
Wow. This one's going to be big, so everyone buckle up for Giant Sister Mary. There she is. Hello, everybody. Merry Christmas. Yeah. All right, sorry, I got to shrink you.
Honey, I Shrunk the Nun.
Yeah. There we go. All right, Sister Mary.
She's just kind of bad. She doesn't get to play the cool part of the purple card pool, and she doesn't do very well with the good part of the blue card pool. Blast tokens, that build is good, but I think just about any blue investigator can really kind of do it about as well as she can.
Yeah, especially with Hemlock. Yeah.
So, we're going to put her, bottom of our C tier. I think she's, like Ranger in Dungeons and Dragons, lacking her own unique power fantasy. So, yeah, anyway.
Amanda Sharpie?
Sure.
So I don't understand how you're supposed to do anything with twos. So I think we're gonna put her at the bottom of our D tier. She's worse than Jenny, obviously.
Yeah, one lower on each of them. It just checks
they're
out.
Just worse numbers. She's got the same 7/7, but doesn't get a money every turn.
Don't worry about that.
So yeah.
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 Yeah. I don't think there's that much more to say. I think you nailed it.
Really.
Yeah.
What?
She's probably a decent. Yeah.
We'll never look at her again, and we'll go to Trish Scarborough.
Norman Withers, is that you? Oh no, sorry, that's my
yet.
mistake. That's my mistake.
It's close.
Yeah,
I think Trish Scarborough is very good. I think she gets to live top of our A tier because, she's not. Since they removed her ability to automatically evade elite enemies, she's not broken, but she's very, very strong.
Yes.
And sure, you need enemies to be where you want them to be, but that's sure would be handy if we had a way to put an enemy into play wherever we wanted it. To,
Yeah. If only there was a way we could just
if
get an enemy.
If only there was a way to do that.
Or lock an enemy down. If only.
But there is. So.
She's pretty good.
She's quite strong.
Yeah. Dexter Drake.
If there was a J tier for Janky, he would be in it. He's a 5-book investigator, Mystic Investigator, though. So, or 5 Brain, whatever. They're the same thing. They start with B.
They do. Both start with B. I've been practicing my alphabet.
He gets to play. I think he's a little bit better than Agnes, but not that much. So he'll be B tier, but he gets to do that same. I play purple cards and I do it good, but with a little bit of a twist on it. I think green 0 to 2 is very helpful for Mystics because you have to figure out how the hell to play all of your stupid expensive cards.
Yeah. And
Faustian Bargain is actually about this far away from being a purple card anyway. Because what, you want to tell me that none of these magic guys have ever made a deal with the devil?
Jim has in his story. Actually, not true.
Why didn't he wish to be better?
Well, he did it as playing his trumpet, but unfortunately, that doesn't translate. Because his trumpet is a very good card.
It is
but then he has to find it and do everything else associated with it.
The trumpet, and he's like, damn it, I should have wished to be a confident investigator.
Yeah, I should have wished for 5 brain. I should have 4 5s.
Or real ability.
Yeah. All right. Silas Marsh.
So I think if we're playing cards as printed, this guy might be bottom of S tier, top of A tier. Cards as tabooed. Guy's probably bottom of A tier. He's still quite strong.
It's pretty fast.
He's on the better side of average, to be sure. He is also quite kind of fast.
Yeah, they're all chasing Rita, all these survivors.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Wendy got the head start because everyone.
So.
Well, she's small because she's a child, so she has less wind resistance.
Yeah,
so that 4 is actually a functional 5, sort of 5.5.
Yeah.
No,
Just a
but
white
like
fish.
a bunch of the cards that were broken with him have been changed to not be broken with him, which is, I think,
Better.
largely for the best.
Yeah.
Because broken cards are fun for all of 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and then
they also realize, like, hey, maybe
cares?
we shouldn't have skills that if you commit it has an effect, as opposed to just, like, you know, like, should have been consistent the whole time.
I think like daring is a fair way for that to exist.
Yes.
Where like it's tied to it, like at the end of the skill test we do a thing, and
Yeah.
that thing is not like it. We're drawing a card,
Yes. Yeah.
right?
You
Like
also-
if we were gaining resources or something like that, cool, yeah.
You shouldn't have to have like esoteric rules knowledge to play an investigator.
Yeah.
Like,
And yeah, in addition, like,
Functionally?
have that knowledge and, like, because it's like one of those things that you can play him without it, but, like, he improves so much when you do, and that's a lot different than, like, gameplay knowledge that other investigators
Yeah.
reward. That's like rules minutia knowledge, which is less exciting.
it's also different than Luke.
Yeah.
Where Luke is still very strong, even if you don't have that rules knowledge, and it just raises the cap a little bit. But yeah, Silas goes from being like a mediocre investigator to a quite good one, based entirely on that. So.
Yeah.
Something unrelenting.
Yeah. I mean, like, also looks great without a shirt on.
Oh, that's true.
Looks cool with a shirt on too, but like,
Yeah.
that's good.
Daniela Reyes.
Every time I think about this investigator, I'm like, she would be so cool with this card, and then somebody's like, actually can't play that because it's blue.
So then that's why you That's why you did the Carson thing. Is you're like, she can play it.
God damn it.
I'll make sure of it.
Yeah, and like, admittedly having
We were
seen
checking
that.
why. Yeah. We were learning.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. With all that said, maybe.
I get it now.
Yeah.
It's, like it's pretty fair.
Yeah.
Also, there's been a whole lot of cool new combat red cards in the last, year and a half? Makes her a lot better. Definitely, I think one of the investigators whose lore, I don't know if there is one who I've changed my mind on as much as from like the first encounter, where the first time it was like, we read the lore that's printed on the back of her investigator card, and the lore boils down, like, is effectively, she's gay, she likes cars. And it's like, and what? Like, that's not even hardly anything about somebody. If somebody told me that was like all the things about them, I would be like, cool, I don't want to see you anymore because you're boring. You know? But we've got like a whole lot more now.
Yeah.
And that is so much better.
Yes. Yeah. That's the one thing I really
'Cause,
liked.
they do need to have, like, sure, they can just be like numbers on a page, but
It's one thing that I really like about a lot of what Arkham Horror does is just giving like that signature weakness and like the signature card gives like so much more like room to work with, because like what do we call them, the Blowjob Brothers? Yeah. Like even then, like even just like that, those are small things to like help paint a story.
Yeah.
That goes like beyond that
You
too.
need something to build off of. They can't be a blank canvas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, even Daniela, like, her signature it's a wrench, and you're like, yeah, because she's mechanic. I got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You compare that to, like, Zoe's, where it links into her backstory meaningfully. Or, like, Finn's. He's got a gun because he's a smuggler.
Yeah.
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 He needs it.
I mean, I guess also didn't help that in like Eldritch Horror, she was the resource-based investigator.
Yeah,
and
so
the
it was
resources kind of don't do anything.
Yes.
So
yeah. So there was not much.
There was a lot of nothing going on there.
Yeah.
Like the gameplay does nothing. The story doesn't exist really. Like, what are we doing? But nowadays it's kind of like, well, this character is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like we're doing a cool thing. We're like playing an interesting game that other people don't play as well as she does. And you know, we're like an actual character now. Been like fleshed out from that that like 3-sentence backstory that they turned in
for Eldritch Horror.
for Eldritch Horror.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think she's quite good.
So power level, where do you think she ranks?
Fuck, I don't care. We're gonna put her at like in the A tier, I guess. Like she's a 5-punch investigator and has 1 book, which is like
we're
mirrored to the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we've got 1 in the number we're not gonna use.
Yeah.
Admittedly, we got 2 in foot, which like we'd be better if we were 6'1", 6'1", or 5'1", 5'1", but like.
Yeah.
That's asking a lot.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it doesn't
I think
matter that much.
I think if that happened, we'd be like,
Yeah.
ooh, that probably shouldn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah. It's also like it just looks wrong.
Yeah.
Like no one, like if these are supposed to be characters, like no one exists that optimized.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, I don't know about that. Usain Bolt seemed to be pretty optimized for like running.
Yeah, he'd be 5'1", 1'5".
Yeah, he'd be like he would do that. That's why
Trish?
Rita doesn't do that, because she's a college athlete, not an Olympic athlete. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why she got 3 books.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'cause-
gotta study. Yeah.
Yeah.
But once she's out, give her a few years. 1 book.
yeah.
One book, yeah.
Norman Withers.
Okay, so this guy can only play events, which is like not great.
He's
kind
in
of-
the colors that want to do that.
Yeah,
though.
it's kind of cool that you get to play them off the top of your deck, but there's not very much you can upgrade into in purple that actually synergizes with events very well. Because the events are all like, discard your asset, do a thing, and you're like, I don't have any of those, I can't play those.
Yeah.
You're right. The events don't synergize with other events.
They mostly don't.
That's true.
Unlike the yellow ones, which if he could upgrade into that, he would be very good.
Yeah.
I think, because the yellow ones let you draw more events, and events begetting events is like.
Well, maybe one
probably
day
not
the
gonna
Mystic
work.
will be more of the
Maybe
event class.
Maybe, but we're gonna put him like down in the D tier. He can live at the top of the D tier. He's better than Ursula, but not by much.
Yeah, that sucks for Ursula. That's tough, man.
Well, you know what? As we learned earlier,
It's time to
in the
put
video.
Monterey Jack down into the D tier behind Ursula because Ursula's like him but fun.
That is what Bryn said earlier.
You
and I was like, that does not bode well for
gotta be
Monterey
moving
Jack.
around, and you don't get to play the cool green cards. You get to play the stupid broken yellow cards instead. Whatever. Ursula can do that too. But she also gets to play relics, which are like 6 different cards or whatever. So that's fun, I guess. You get to play like a full level 0 yellow deck.
Yeah,
So that's pretty cool.
that is good. Yeah, no, you're
Yeah.
right. She's got that
Yeah,
over
it's-
mine. Which cool relics do you get to play?
Oh, okay. So you get to play like that stupid little grotesque statue.
I said cool relics.
Yeah, that one's cool. You get to play the
What does
one
it
that. So you can spend charges off of it to draw like 2 tokens and pick one.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
I forgot that card
Um,
existed.
Yeah, most people do because it's the only character who might ever want to play it is this one because whatever, like, are you just gonna spend your XP on yellow cards? Yeah, probably they're better.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the ceiling one from Forgotten Age. I was
No.
like, that card's not cool,
No.
man.
That card's like, man. I mean, when that card's good, it's the best thing anyone's ever done. And when it's bad, you're like, I spent 3 money for nothing
Yeah.
and a hand slot.
And they're unique.
Well, also
Yeah.
it feels bad because like it feels like you spent 3 money for nothing because you have it in play and you're like you can't tell when you would have drawn the token that was sealed on it.
Yeah.
So it just
It
sits
doesn't.
there.
It doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
That is true. You don't get like value feedback. Even though you're getting value,
Yeah.
you actually don't get feedback that value is happening.
Yeah, you just have
that's
to
a good
trust
point.
that it's there.
You just
Yeah.
you have to trust the value exists.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. Yeah, we're not gonna. Yeah, we got like
Yeah, more investigators get
more
through. Yeah.
investigators
Not
to
that
do.
many though.
Yeah, it's not
many.
that many.
Yeah.
It's not that many.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Ursula's like him but fun. Although all of the relics she can play that are like, wow, this one's actually kind of good,
Yeah.
are like, I can play it for 2 reasons. Because
Yeah.
it's neutral or it's already yellow or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, the only
kinda sad.
new one she got is the Rod of Carnima Ghost, which she could play, but like so could a lot of other people, so it's not really a selling point, right?
Yeah,
That's
other
kinda like what it all
people-
comes
other
down
people
to.
can do it better.
Yeah. Lily Chen.
I mean, she's like almost good.
I hear almost good. I scroll up a little bit.
Yeah.
That means probably at least B
Her
tier.
card pool is like leads to a very shaky opening to a campaign, where you might not really do anything. However, if you get a little bit of experience in your deck, man, everything's awesome now. You've got actual weapons and like cards that make you do things, and that's pretty cool.
She do be hyperscaling.
So I think we're gonna put her at the top of the B tier. She's like got a better level 0 deck than Winifred does, but and like admittedly, I guess scales better too. You know, maybe we'll put her at the bottom of the A tier. Maybe she gets. Yeah, sure, we'll do that.
Nice.
Sure.
Nice.
She can be pretty fast.
Yeah. She can get the 4.
Yeah, man, we're just ranking. It's just Fast and the Furious. Let's go.
Yeah.
You got a 5 in foot or a 5 in punch, way up at the top.
Yeah.
Really, I like those stats.
Yeah. 5 book, that's B tier for me, baby,
yeah.
for book.
Book of Brain, that's B tier.
All right, Bob Jenkins.
No vacuum.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he does kind of just show up and be like, no, take vacuum!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get killed by a giant demon who kills you if you don't have a vacuum on your hat. It's a whole thing. I don't know, I think he's probably like C tier. Like, pretty much what he does is abuse scavenging and yeah, abusing scavenging is like, I don't know, hitting a rented mule. Like, who cares? It's not even my mule. I don't care what it kind of like what it's what it looks like when I give it back. It doesn't matter. The point is, it's easy.
Yeah.
You can just do it for free. Anybody who can play scavenging can abuse scavenging.
Yeah. Can I also just say I hate his art for thumbnails because he's just like awkwardly posed. And it's like one of those things where then he's like too big and his hand just reaches out of the top of the frame and you're like,
It does look a little awkward.
yeah. So I don't like using Bob for thumbnails.
There's like good potential there though.
Yeah. I mean, like he's
Like to be holding something.
Yeah. He's
he
holding
is,
like a
fun to play.
grotesque statue.
Yeah, or something like
Yeah.
that. Like there's potential there, but it's pretty neat.
Yeah, Saturday Justin almost came through, so I had to go back to Wednesday Justin. Saturday Stream Justin is a different beast. I can't say that. This video's for Christmas. Santa Claus would see it, and then I'd be on the naughty list.
Oh no.
Oh, Santa Claus is gonna see this list? Shit. That's no good.
Bob Jenkins probably.
Yeah,
his
anyway, he's
favorite.
gonna be, he's like, I enjoy playing him, but he's not really very good.
All right. Speaking of enjoy playing and probably is very good, here's
Oh,
Carson
dude,
Sinclair.
yeah. So like Carson Sinclair could be like bottom-ish of our S tier for servitor.
Okay.
In that you don't actually play your own game, but you make everybody else's game like crazy.
Yeah.
You just kind of show up and you're like, you know that Leo DeLuca guy? Yeah. Yeah, that's me, actually. That's a picture of me when I was young. Have an extra action.
That's a future Leo.
Yeah, he's very strong, I think. I thought he was stupid and bad when they spoiled him, but I've played him a couple of times, and I'm here to tell you that he's probably the strongest flex investigator in the game because you get to take whatever it is somebody else has spent all their time and resources accumulating to play their game good and be like, that's my game too.
Yep.
I do that.
Yep.
This turn.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it is like functionally how that works. Like
Yeah, I mean,
I
there's a
spent
couple
my
of-
action to do an investigate action with your kit.
Yeah, like there's like small hoops you have to jump through to like actually be at their location and shit, right?
Yeah, well,
So-
that's like just a blue
So
thing.
like if
though.
the fighter and the clover split off, there's like a little bit of tension.
Yeah, but then you just pick one and you're like, this one's my favorite.
Yeah.
You want me to help you? You better
Get your back here.
You hang out with this
Yeah, you're
guy.
like, cool, we'll stand together, my favorite.
Yeah.
We'll stand together. Stand
Yeah,
together
yeah.
3, don't mind. We'll each draw 2, gain 2. Yeah.
Mythos face, here's a leadership, my favorite.
yeah, right. Like,
Yeah, the other one's just outside like, me? You have to come back. I'm not coming to you. Yeah.
not gonna help you. This is a guidance.
Yeah.
Why don't you take like 6 actions this turn? That'll be really cool. Yeah. Anyway, I think he's very strong. He's like either top of my A tier or bottom of my S tier. I think he'll be bottom of the S tier because like the A tier is getting a little full, and like we are gonna probably end up with like a brick of guys somewhere. That's okay. Maybe not. Like some of these guys have their own special tier that is a surprise tier that we haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah. You saying Servitor reminded me. I did a Dexter deck where I played with the Summon Servitor with the bounce mode, and I think you could cook something with that. So you should do something with that one day. Next time you play Dexter, just have like a million bounce options. It's pretty sick. All right, Vincent Lee, the Doctor.
I think this guy's like pretty mid. We're gonna put him in the B tier. I think. Like it's all of his words are like pretty okay. But that's like about as good as they get. Is like pretty okay. Daisy might arguably be better than him, but she's more boring than him. So
she was also put here first, so she's just gonna.
So she just lives on that side now.
Yeah,
Because I'm not gonna get into that. I don't care enough.
Yeah. Unless it's the Foot Club, then it does matter.
Yeah, then it matters.
Yeah. All right, Kymani.
5.
5 foot? 5. That's really good for the Foot Club. If that's
very fast.
I think Kymani is like a lot better than I gave them credit for. I played them with a really stupid, bad, illicit tribal deck. It was not good. I was pretty sandy about it because I wanted illicit cards to be good, and they're not quite yet.
Oh no, but you're gonna have everyone talking about Fence again. Everyone's gonna be talking about Fence. No.
Fence isn't a good card.
Every time though, there's the people I remember. They're like, "What are they talking about? Fence isn't good."
They're like the Ursula people.
No, different people. There's a whole groups of people.
But they'll like them.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, I think that Kymani can live at like bottom of the A tier with the Foot Club. I think I'm pretty happy with that.
Come on, it's just giving them a head start.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably way down, like the
wall.
Yeah, the wall's tough.
Kymani's climbing, but everyone else is running.
They also have a bunch of tools. It's probably heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like card pool is like it's not great. But you got green cards, so you can make your foot do things. Yeah. And the discard ability is like randomly super clutch. Yeah. I mean, like it's not always like a great way to fight enemies. No. But
it can be good if
when
needed.
It's good. It's good. Yeah. There's some enemies that do bad things to you when defeated. Yep. Discard and defeat are two different things.
Yes.
So.
The thing I'll always remember about Kymani was the time that Bryn convinced both Travis and I to take a dynamite, and it wasn't hard to convince us. Like, should I throw a dynamite in? And we were both like, yes.
That was a Carson game.
Yeah,
that was a Carson game.
Classic Carson.
Not a Kymani game.
Oh no, I was Kymani for that one.
Were you
I was Kymani.
Okay, yeah. I don't.
That's when I basic punched a rat to death.
that was
it was a 3-action get rid of the rat. Yeah. Who were you for that when you were Amina, I think?
Probably, that sounds right. Yeah, that was us playing the new characters. I remember that.
Yeah. All right, speaking of Amina, wow, what a segue.
Wow.
It's like I did this 3 times now.
Zinedine Zidane.
You tell that story and all the other ones too?
Yeah.
So I think that Amina has like a very strong ability that is combined with a relatively weak card pool and stat line.
Wait, do we have 3 Amina believers here? Is that what I'm about to find out?
No.
No.
She's like bad Preston, I think.
You know what? That's actually pretty fair. She is kind of like bad Preston.
Yeah. We'll like shunt her down into the C tier.
Wow, we all are believers. Wow. Don't know why I put her on the end. You did just say shunt down, so I'm gonna put her there instead.
Yeah, she's just like not great.
But her ability is so good.
Yeah, depending on what what purple assets or charms we see in the future. Yep. She might be very, very good.
But we need some of those.
But like, we're gonna need that to happen.
Yeah. We need to see.
Maybe some of those purple assets can also be relics.
Maybe.
And we can fix Ursula at the same time.
Wow. Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
A little bit unrelated, but I do think that Amina has a very good like backstory and character.
Oh yeah, I love Amina's character.
In comparison to a lot of the other new investigators they come out with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Kohaku. I think Kohaku's really good.
Kohaku's is pretty good.
Yeah. And of the new one, I actually like all. Who are the new ones? I like both the new ones. I like Lucius and I like Marion. I think they're also really cool.
I think Marion's neat. I like the whole like, hey, you do actually just have one hand slot. Like figure that out.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Because you only have one hand.
Yeah. I'm also a sucker though. The thing that got me for Lucian too is because he's a poet, so I like that. I like the artistic stuff. Those always just resonate with me. But her backstory was really cool. Just the telephone operator that like hears spirit voices. That's like really. That's a classic weird horror pitch.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of classic weird horror, here's a guy with a hat. It's Darrell Simmons.
He's been here a while.
Yeah.
Darrell Simmons has been here for a while. I thought he would be better than he is. You know? It just felt like it should be better. As opposed to, like, well, you're like a 5-book seeker who doesn't really do other things very much. You get like a free flashlight sometimes.
Yep.
I think that the Tested Zero archetype is dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like graveyard recursion, right? Like we're playing with fire.
Yes.
Like there's a possibility that this comes out okay, but we also might burn the house down. So
Yeah, difficulty reduction test is kind of analogous. But how do you say that word?
I don't know.
It's spelled analogous? Like analogous.
Yeah, it might be said that way. Analogous, like because it's an analogy.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't actually know. I've only ever read that word.
It's comparable to like cost reduction of cards and other card games. Like
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Just immediately like cool. I actually know a different word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
means the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know how that one goes. Yeah.
English is neat like that.
Yeah. Like I think
cost reduction, like free cards, or like being able to like pay a resource that doesn't really matter instead of a real resource is never wrecked another card game before.
Never.
No.
Yeah, you're right. Apex was broken when you got to discard things that were no longer good for you.
And like that's the thing about Darrell, like the doing it on the tests like defensively is like pretty reasonable on rate for other people, but as soon as you get like the payoff cards, like again Shadowlight, and again you actually look at that because there's like Bryn and I were talking earlier about like take a clue effect and turn it into a damage effect, and you just see how much it's actually not fairly between them. Shadowlight. If it was like 2 damage to an enemy and then like just ping another enemy, that'd be pretty playable. No one's playing Exploit Weakness. One, because it's harder to reduce the difficulties on enemy things, but also that generally it's just like not comparable for the 0 XP level.
Actually, it's quite easy if you play those bad Seeker cards.
That is true. That is true.
Like Exploit Weakness, is that what? No, that's the yellow. That's the yellow one I'm thinking of.
It's expose weakness. But anatomical diagrams is the one that's like actually playable.
Okay.
That's the one that you have to have the sanity threshold.
If there's an investigator that can make use out of expose weakness,
it's Darrell.
Probably this guy.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of our whole thesis for Seeker Week, right? We want to see more of that, so like we can actually start getting enough pieces to make a deck, as opposed to being like
but like good ones, not like expose weakness, please.
No.
Anyway, this guy's gonna live like below Daisy. They're very similar. Like they have 5 book and they do another thing, but like that other thing is like not exciting.
Yeah.
Really.
You don't like reading books?
I don't.
No, I'm illiterate.
Sorry.
That's fair.
I don't. Yeah.
All right, Charlie Kane.
I think this guy is not bad. I think as far as flexes go, he's like pretty good at it. But is definitely like belongs probably in the like B tier, maybe, someplace that he can get spit on by Carson. Told to mind his place, trash.
You know, I'm kind of into that. I think that woke something up in me for sure, right there.
He's like, he's like a pretty fine flex investigator. I think he is an example of what a neutral investigator should be.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, you can make this do just about whatever you want, but it's not going to be as good as somebody else might be at it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is a thing we've touched on before today. That's where neutral should be.
Yes. Yeah.
Neutral should never be better.
In the B tier.
Yeah, that's where it belongs.
All right.
Yeah.
Wilson Richards. We're on to the Hemlock Vale investigators.
No blunder.
Yeah, I hope we
Yeah,
get
I mean, like, why does he have a shotgun in the
it.
art?
Yeah, I want to get it.
It's not a tool.
Give us the blunderbuss.
Oh, everything's a tool. If
No,
you
shotguns
use-
are tools.
Yeah, it is.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
I could hammer a nail in for the shotgun,
Well, no,
probably.
they're not tools.
Not in this game.
Yeah. That's why he's got one.
Or shooting rats or something, probably.
You should have like a rat gun then.
That's what
You
he's
should have like a
got.
pellet gun. That could be a tool.
Wow, let's do it.
Yeah, it's just like the stupid gun in Fallout, like 3 at the beginning.
Yeah.
You get like the BB gun and you
Yeah.
try to solo the game with it.
Yeah, that could be Wilson.
Could be Wilson Richards. Anyway, this guy, like, I think he's very similar to Charlie Kane in that, like, he can, in theory, do just about anything. He's probably a little better than Charlie because he doesn't have to work quite so hard in order to get where he's going. We'll put him like bottom of our A tier because he is like a little better than Charlie. He's not very fast though.
No. He's not in the race.
Not
He's
ever
just-
since he like sprained his ankle in high school. He's never.
If
been
he's got a
fast
crutch though,
after
he's
that.
pretty fast.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kate Winthrop.
I hate her.
She does have a kind of dumb haircut.
Yeah.
It's like a coconut.
I'm gonna put her in the D tier. Like, she can live at the top of it. Like, her card
I've
pool
never
is
heard
just
Bryn
so
say,
dumb.
I hate someone.
Her card pool is so dumb.
It
It's
is.
like you can play yellow cards and then also yellow cards and maybe if you'd like some more yellow cards and you're like,
I mean, look at it
What are
from
we
Bryn's
doing
point
here?
of view. Like, he is never going to play her because she's a secret investigator.
Yeah.
And he's seen each of us play it, and neither of us have a particularly
It's
great
never
time.
been good.
No, I think it's fair. Yeah.
So, it's like
Yeah.
me when I see you guys play rogues.
I think she's just like not great. Like, okay, fair is fair. Logically, she must be better than some of the people in the C tier because she can play yellow cards. That's true. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Is what the D and D tier stands for today.
Don't care, it doesn't matter.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sick. All right. Alessandra Zorzi.
Okay, so I hate her too. But at least she's like a little bit more interesting. We're gonna put her in our C tier for chatty. Because she can play parlay cards. I don't think like she's particularly good, and like what I hate about her is that she needs a card from a different expansion in order to really function as an investigator, and then also everything in her set
It's
is
balanced, yeah.
like parley for no reason, right? Like it. I don't like it.
How do you feel about the parlay and flavor text counting?
Okay, so like I'm assured that I have like Santa's gonna watch this, and
Nice
I've already probably used like I don't know, maybe 6 too many expletives.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like we're not gonna get into that.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think it's very dumb.
That might have been bait. That might have been bait.
I think it's very dumb.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the fact she gets 13 stat points, unlike every other investigator?
I think it doesn't matter because they're all bad.
I hate it.
She's got 3 brain. Who even cares? You're rogue. Just fail it anyway. Just move
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. I don't understand why she has an extra stat point.
It's because you need it. Because
Why?
parlays are like every type of skill test you can imagine.
Just take one out of the punch, or like
Yeah, but sometimes you need to interrogate a guy with your punch.
take one out of the foot.
Yeah, and sometimes you need. Well, actually, you always need foot because you're a green investigator. But that's
I mean, that
beside
would
the
help
point.
give her like a better niche, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Honestly, she probably should have just been all threes, huh?
If there was an investigator, who should have been all threes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like one
That
punch
makes sense.
also would have been fine because like it would have fit on theme.
Yes,
like,
it would have fit her character, a lot
yeah,
better.
Like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna go punch somebody? No, you're gonna go talk to that beefy guy at the bar and,
Yeah.
and like try to get him to punch a
Yeah,
guy.
like
Yeah.
the 4 book does make sense because you have
Yeah.
to have like her signature. You have like you get to investigate with the guys.
Yes.
So that does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
I think-
punch, kind of like what are you doing?
I think giving
Yeah.
her like giving her a Mandy stat line.
though admittedly, like the difference between 2 punch and 1 punch in this particular case is pretty much nothing. It doesn't really change anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't succeed punch tests really without lots of work. And,
Mhm.
You need that to pass your vamp tests.
you don't
I
need
sure
you don't
you
need
need-
anything to pass your vamp test. You just wear nice clothes.
Yes.
They pass themselves.
I'm sure it is absolutely necessary.
Yeah, I wish because they did that awful fine clothes design on one of like the chat votes for it. I wish they just had like an upgraded fine clothes that they designed just for this box too.
The chat those cards are so
I-
bad sometimes.
I
Most of the time.
wish.
Yeah.
I wish that
Almost all the time.
they had just included
the exceptions
fine clothes
are-
in
yeah.
the box, but
Yes.
with like it's a dress this time.
Yes, I actually
So
had
we get
an
to play
alternate
like
one.
a little bit more fashion souls
Yeah, I think that would have been cool.
with our fine
Yeah.
clothes.
Do you remember the Dragon Pole one?
Yes, I played it with Dexter. I was just like, this card's broken.
Yeah, it's also just like a nightmare of a design to keep track of shit.
Yes, yeah. Like what's the one that they did that's good?
Abomination of design.
They did the one that's like actually like
Guard Dog was Arkham Knight's design.
and flashlight, the upgraded flashlight.
Yeah,
They're
those
like
ones were
those are
good.
like, I mean, those are also through the designers too.
Yeah.
I don't know how much 1-to-1 they were. Yeah. I also like the upgraded sword cane where it pings when it comes in too. That can be kind of cool.
That's
But
kind of neat.
I think the numbers need to be tweaked a bit. But
Yeah.
the fine clothes was an abomination.
Yeah, I mean, they usually are.
Yeah. All right. Kohaku Narukami.
Mateo is Kohaku? Yeah, anyway, they're like very similar investigators to me. They both play around with like some sort of weird side mini game to make things happen.
Where's Father Mateo?
He's not appearing on this list because he's underneath Kohaku, I think.
No, he's visible.
Oh no, he is. Yeah,
I just can't see
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, he's right here.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, that's right. I forgot we put him in the B tier for blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I think he's
Wow,
pretty
that's
much the same
that's
guy.
extremely disrespectful to Sister Mary.
Yeah, Sister Mary is like
Yeah,
Not-
that's a big like get.
at least like Father Mateo has like a fantasy where he doesn't suck.
Kohaku's also cursed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
you're
got like
right.
you got like a P tier.
Yeah. Paradoxical.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could put Hank in there for Par too.
Par.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Actually, we should have done that.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Anyway, 2 investigators, and then we get to go play Spirit Island.
Yeah.
So we got Hank Sampson. This guy. So like everything, scratch that. A lot of the things that are wrong with Calvin are wrong with this guy too.
Mm-hmm.
Where like all the cards that you have access to are about passing tests with bad number, and then he's like, check it out, big number, and you're
Mhm.
like, great, I can't.
Yes.
That doesn't change anything for me.
Big number though.
He is better than Calvin though, I think, because he is much harder to kill
Mhm.
while he is doing it, and like the things he gets for taking damage do something.
Yeah, you get
As
rewarded for
opposed
like
to-
taking the damage.
Yeah, like as opposed to just like showing up and being like, my number big, and then the game being like, so what do you do with that? And you being like, but my number big.
Yeah, it's like, isn't that enough? Sorry, I thought that would win me the game. I see
sorry.
everyone else have a number big and they win the game. I thought that would be also apply to me.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think he's like, whatever tier we put Calvin in, we put him in like the next one up.
Boom.
Because he's like a little bit better.
I like them looking at each other. Oh, let's go like that.
Yeah.
Making our own fan fiction.
Darrell's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute.
He's like, take a picture, it'll last longer.
What's like that meme of like the guy looking back when the girls are walking?
Yeah,
when he's walking with his partner? That's what that is. All right. Gloria Goldberg.
I don't like her either. Like, she can probably live up in the S tier investigators because of previous precedent that has been set in this courtroom.
I mean, in all fairness, nothing has changed for her. Like, she's just
like it's
cards for her.
No.
It's honestly like kind of just invalidates an aspect of the game. And there are other people up here for doing less.
Yeah.
S for stupid.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, Luke is up here because that's for stoner. But also he invalidates a different aspect of the game.
He's a
I mean, she also does, she invalidates an aspect of the game.
So, like, because she does that, I think she gets to live up here. She's also, like, a 5-brain mystic who gets to play other cards, whichever ones you want, really. It doesn't matter.
Is Mark Thex got to book?
No, Mark's up here for sexy.
Oh. I could have spent Sophie.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're right. No, Mark's up here because he's probably, like, best blue investigator in the game. For whichever archetype you're playing.
Archetypes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like with they had a card spoil for Drowned City that like looks to be a payoff for Gloria, and it's something that I actually enjoy if they went that as opposed to more manipulation. It's basically like you draw cards for the team and then skip the next Mythos phase. So like it kind of rewards the stacking. You take them all and then you go like that. I think that's a better way than giving her more tools to search. So hopefully that continues. I also was thinking it'd be really cool for signatures if she was designed around Circle Undone and it was like the set of 3 things.
Yeah.
Where I think that would be cool.
Neat.
Yeah, like when something bad happens and you get all 3 of them.
Yeah. I don't like the look of the cards in counter deck just as cards. I think it slows down the game way too much.
Agreed too.
Especially the person playing Gloria like doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
All right. We got like 3 minutes left in the time budget.
Wow.
All right, so we got like Roland Banks. He's cool if you build a giant robot out of him, but he's not otherwise. We got Daisy Walker. Play the other one. It doesn't matter. She's no good. We got Skids O'Toole. He's like kind of broken this time around, actually. Like not actually that much fun though after the first time you done it.
Yeah.
We got Agnes Baker. Couldn't tell you what she does. Get her the fuck out of here. We got Wendy Adams. She needs like a whole separate card to tell me how her investigator works. I don't care. I'm not gonna read that.
I also don't know what it does.
Yeah, we got Zoe Samaras, who I'm assured does extra damage somehow. That sounds cool. I'm not going to play with it. We got Rex Murphy. He's probably actually worse than he was the first time around because it's like if he was better, that is just like a massive headache. So, yeah.
What are you doing?
Like, why not just play the normal one? We got Jenny Barnes. That's a sweet piece of art, and there's no possible way that she's less interesting than she was the first time around. But again, like, unless they print like physical versions of these, I'm not going to print them out myself. I don't care enough. Jim Culver, he does too many words. I don't care.
That's too many words.
Ashcan Pete, I couldn't tell you what this guy does, so like get him out of here. Father Mateo, again, I didn't even know this guy had a parallel. So like, see you later. Monterey Jack, I think he sounds like he is a cooler version of Ursula Downs, and that is like kind of sad.
And you're like D tier,
So,
D tier above.
You're right above Ursula.
That was great.
Consistency's sake, though, yeah.
Good job, Bryn.
Yeah, that was great. All right, well, that is Bryn's tier list in the books. There's a link in the video description where you can go find a link to this image for free on our Patreon page, because I can host images there, so go check it out. And tomorrow, we have Travis's, which we recorded last week.
Yeah.
YouTube time is strange.
So I hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I guess I should do the Patreon bumper, huh? That's usually how this thing goes. Huge thank you to all of our patrons. I hope you have a great Christmas, and I hope you have a great Boxing Day if you're Canadian or whatever else happens in other places of the world on the 26th. But Travis is going to be there to punch you with his opinion tomorrow.
Yeah.
So see y'all then. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one. And as always, GG's.